Good afternoon from Little Creek Bee Ranch. This is our first video for 2021. So welcome to the new bee season 2021. A little different. Every year is different, it seems. So it's March 8th. And one of the first things that we do starting off the season is do some Zentari spraying. And what we're doing is covering the comb with a microbial just to protect it from wax moth damage. This is a really important bee chore to understand and to do. I'm just putting on some rubber gloves. It kind of turns my hands yellow. Doesn't hurt you. I just don't want to turn my hands yellow. So I'm going to I made a film of this, I guess probably over a year ago, and I want to make another one with a few improvements that we've made, changes that we've made. So here's the problem. If you're new to beekeeping and you're starting beekeeping, your wax comb that you build is super important to you. And it's all well and good until the wax moths get to it and destroy it, and it really does freak out new beekeepers. They're not quite sure how to process that. So if you don't know, you're going to go through a lot of these troubles and challenges, and we don't want that. We want to reduce the learning curve. That's why we do what we do and teach as much as we teach. If you're looking for a good beekeeping program, go look at our personal advisor program, where it's a structured teaching program. You can go to our main website, littlecreekbeeranch.com, to the personal advisor page. There's a lot there. I'll just let you study that there. I'll put some links down below so you can read later. Okay, so we're going to spray something on the comb. It's safe and fine. It's fine for the bees, fine for the larvae. It doesn't hurt the honey. It's been approved by EPA. A lot's been written about it. It's not necessarily new to beekeeping. It may be new to you hearing it for the first time, but to beekeepers have been using Zentari since, oh gosh, back to 2000. You can go on the Bee Forums, Bee Culture, and sign up on their forum and put in Zentari and look at all the comments and discussions about Zentari. I think the dates I saw go as far back as 2000. Of course, we would like to know this as soon as possible so we can avoid a lot of pain and agony and heartache. That's the concern there. Okay, so what is Zentari? We're going to mix this up, but what is it? It is a powdered microbial. The worms eat it. They get the bacterium in their stomach as they eat it. I'll give a close-up of the package. I'll put some source links in the bottom of the video. Zentari, spelled with an X. Used in greenhouses, greenhouse managers will spray it on some of their plants to knock out some of the worms that they battle with as well. So the same principle as a greenhouse manager using it, a bacterium on their plants, we use the same principle on our comb. That as the worm eats the comb or eats the plant, they ingest the bacterium in their gut, and it's toxic to their gut, and they die. Very clever. Much better strategy than any other kind of moth crystals and all that other stuff that we traditionally use. So Zentari, this is a bag of Zentari. I want to say $32, lasts a long time. This is my second year and I've done about half of it, so lasts quite a long time. So I have a little pump spray bottle. I want to say half a gallon. Excuse me. Half a gallon. Okay, so let's just put some water in it. It's just tap water. You know, just filling tap water up. Trying to show you ticks and trips. Can't talk. Tips, tricks, and strategies. That's important, you know. Trying to get the learning curve down. Everybody, even older beekeepers, the learning curve eats you up. That's okay. Okay. Set that to the side. Now, how much do we put in? So let me pour some of this off a little bit. Almost a half a gallon. I have a measuring cup here. It's pre-measured. It's a heaping tablespoon. Yeah, heaping tablespoon. So I'll just kind of scoop it. Now here's a tablespoon. I could just dump it in there, but the cup offers me a little bit of a bending motion. Can bend it, squeeze it. That's all I need. That's probably even a bit more than I would really need. Plenty. Goes a long way. Okay, so when you mix this stuff up, it's no good for the next day. It's a one-time use for the size of bag that you have, and I'm only spraying twice a year, March and September. So I'm not worried about being ultra pensive and catching waste, and you'll see here in a minute. Okay, so water, powdered Zentari. The official name of it is Bacillus thuringiensis subspecies azawe. There you go. That's the only species of Bacillus thuringiensis that will kill waxworms that we just specifically apply. You can also go to our website and look at an ebook we've written titled Ending Wax Moth Damage Forever. That's a pretty good write. I'm proud of that one because we did lots of research. There's a lot of articles and official documentation that we chased down, approvals from EPA for last year. This has been a serious problem for beekeepers across the country. So the leaders in the beekeeping organizations nationally really pushed the EPA to quickly let's get this approved and officially out there for the beekeepers. They're using it anyway. And in the tests and stuff, they didn't find any troubles. I'm not worried about that. Okay, and you can adjust the nozzle and stuff. Okay, so it's mixed. You know, it's not a hard deal. Not a hard deal. What I do is I will take a magic marker. Now I've sprayed 2 different times past, so that's 6 months and 6 months. I'll make another X, fresh. It's a fresh mark. I'll also come to the top of my frames and make another fresh X. Now, I'm not worried about marking my stuff up. It looks like this. That's okay. I want to see that because I don't want the heartache of wax moth worms. It's a bigger problem than you realize, and when you run into it, you're going to freak out. Well, you've been warned. Consider yourself warned. Okay, so watch this. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, I want the combs out and the inside of the box sprayed as well. Now, if you this box isn't too bad. These wax moth worms have the ability to dig divots inside your box and edges. They can really destroy some wood. Serious, man. They'll dig divots and holes inside the frames as well. And there'll be so many of them, you'll just have to throw the frame out because mites and beetles will hide in the holes, and we don't want to do that. So we're just going to spray the inside of the box. Of course, we're going to let it, you want to let it dry before you ever give it to a colony. Okay, so consider it sprayed. Now watch this. Let's set this to the side. We've got about 25 boxes to do, well, and some other catch boxes to do. So check this out. So here's a dark frame. This is even better. Let's do this one. Here's a dark frame, medium frame, and these are real attractive. The bees really do like these. Now this one's particularly drone cell. That's okay. We'll use that for a specific reason. But the bees are real attracted to this. Well, so are the moths. The worms get in here, the moth worms, and eat the cocoons laterally. They'll eat them laterally and just make a mess. So the more comb I protect, now follow with me, the more comb I protect, the more comb counts go up. The more comb I have to use, the less the bees have to work to make the wax, the more honey I make. Got that? Got that? You got to think that through a little bit. Also, here's another one, track with me. The more comb I save, brood comb particularly, I can use in my catch boxes, protected out in the field for periods of time. the more comb I can use in my catch boxes, the higher the odds even more of catching swarms. So you might think something so innocent, like, okay, what's the deal? No, no, this rolls out into a much bigger program. This rolls out into a much bigger benefit. You really do have to, you have to be educated, and somebody's got to teach you, so okay, why is this such a major deal? So I'm gonna set the frames out. Watch this. Now, last year in the film I made, we did it one at a time, sprayed one at a time. And you kind of get to thinking, okay, what am I doing that for? You kind of get self-critical now. Why am I doing this? So you can lay them out, and watch this. A box usually has 9 or 10 frames in it. That's just old mold. I'm not worried about that. Okay, get them spaced. You see what I'm getting ready to do? Now this stuff right here, this ribbon, we'll scrape that off later and harvest that. Kind of clean them up a little bit, right? Now rather than hold one at a time, we're going to spray them as a set. But now the holes on the frames, remember, kind of cant upwards to the top bar. So we want to lay top bar to us, right? Top bar to us. Get your... You can be liberal. You want it down. You want it down in the cells. Now, some of you already are going, how come we just can't dip them? Let's dip them. Well, it sounds easy, but the problem is when you dip them, the cells form bubbles over the top and won't let the water in. It's harder. It sounds easier. It's actually harder. So we just spray them. That way we can shoot the liquid down inside. Just try to make sure you get a good covering. The wind's kind of blowing at 15 miles an hour. There's very few days in Oklahoma the wind's not blowing. So we're on the north side of the honey hut in the shade, out of the wind, doing this lesson. On the top bars. Okay, got the idea? Okay, now watch. Set it down. Now it's going to get flipped this way or whichever way, so the holes are facing to me, right? A whole box at a time, but you got to honor the angle of the angle of the cell, so we get it shot down in there. Now, if you're a brand new beekeeper, you're looking at this going, that's ridiculous. I know, I know. Yeah, but you hadn't been through wax moth nightmare. For the experienced beekeepers that have been around a while, who've not ever seen this before, they're probably going, what? What is this guy doing? And that's what I said when I first saw it too. It's like spraying something on the frames. What? We don't spray anything on the frames. Gosh, man. Saving you much pain. Okay. Okay. Now, so here's my box I just sprayed, right? I really don't want to shake too hard. I want all that residual stuff to dry in there. Twice a year, March and September. It's a small price to pay versus traditional wax moth stuff. We normally have used paradichlorobenzene moth crystals, and that's, most of you that are experienced know that. You've probably done that. Well, here's the kicker. All these boxes you see stacked here, and there's like almost 30 of them in the hut. They sat crisscross stacked, open for 6 months. Not near a moth. No damage. Nothing. Man, I'll take that any day. So across the way here, I have set a place to set them in the sun to dry. So I'm going to walk over and set it down. Nope. In the wind. There we go. Get out of the wind. Okay, so let's do a big box. We have a number of these to do. My X on the face, my X up here, and these magic marker X's, you know, they'll fade over the months. That's whatever. The bees don't care. I just want to know that it got sprayed, you know. Okay, so let me take, particularly protecting your brood comb, and even the wax foundation, I'll gladly do this chore as compared to digging out worms and, oh boy, I mean, I tell you now, here's another thought. I know a lot of people out there that are experienced beekeepers, when they get wax moth damage and they open up and they see this mass of webs, they go, forget this. I am not cleaning this out, and throw the whole shootery on a fire pile, burn pile. I'm a little too tight to do that. I'll clean it out, but let's get over the hurdle and not do this anymore. I don't want to do this digging and cleaning out webs and worms and garbage. Okay, so that's wax. Okay, now here comes the brood comb. Now, this looks ugly, but this is a little mold. How that got there was the frame wasn't completely dry from last time I sprayed 6 months ago. So I really want them to sit out and waft in the air for half the day, you know. Let them dry out. After sundown goes down, I'll come out here and put them all away. It's only because it was a little moist going into the hut to sit. Not a problem. Okay, top bars are to me. Angle of the holes facing me, so that I'm not having to do these one at a time. I collapse my time frames, yeah? I got other things to do, you know, and you do too. So anywhere the worm eats, they're going to consume this bacterium. This is just like spraying a plant in a greenhouse with a natural microbial. I love it. I love it when we get seasoned older beekeepers that have been doing this for as long as I have, 17, 20 years, some, and they go, holy crap. And they've been fighting moths too, and they haven't heard of all this. Said, I know. It's a big deal. Saving you some pain, man. Because it's no different for me when you get a box that's consumed with wax moths. Your inclination is to throw it on the burn pile, the fire pit, or whatever. Just throw it on there. Okay. Go this way. But you see, we can get through some boxes pretty quick here. See the air bubbles? That's from the bottom side. So dipping doesn't work like you think it would. You can try it. You'll learn. That's how you learn. But even to come into my honey hut and find a bunch of wax moths consume a box. We have a great story in the ebook When my wife broke her leg several years ago, of course, I'm the sole provider, so we were out. There was no bee work going on, man. She was down for like 4 months. So I knew, like, when I go to the honey hut, I'm going to have 40 boxes of comb destroyed. It was bad, too, boy. Had I known about Zentari then, we wouldn't have had such a problem. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So, back to my box, a little bit of a wiggle, because as the water evaporates, it'll leave a thin film or residue of the bacterium. Now we also have one that we filmed on our main YouTube channel under Ken Davis. We filmed some of these worms dying. We had found a little patch of worms in a medium, and we dug them out. It was half of a palm of your hand, and sprayed it again, and then followed up on it every other day. And I'd raise the box, and there'd be dead worms on the tabletop. That was cool. You'll have to go look at that one. That was very, very cool. It kills them before they get big and get a rally up on me. It kills them when they're small. Okay, sitting down in the sun. All right, let's do another medium. Now, in my system, I particularly like the mediums. I'm pretty, pensive, protective of the medium boxes. I get a lot of headway out of the mediums. Double mediums are excellent to brood in. We make the majority of our honey out of double mediums. And I get a flip and twist strategy, swarm prevention strategy out of double mediums. You'll have to learn more about that. Okay, so marked. Still have some in my bottle. Okay, inside of the box is sprayed. Okay, there, let's just let it, I'm just going to set it up there like that. Okay, here come the frames. A couple of weeks ago, it was like -5 overnight in Oklahoma. It's just crazy. Our temperature swings are incredibly dramatic. I think I lost three colonies. I have 3 more left. That's kind of the lowest point we've ever been at, which doesn't freak me out because I know how to jam back up into bees. Of course, we don't want to ever lose any. That would be the optimum. They're tough, but they're tender. Okay, so top bars are to me. Oh, come on. Ooh. Yeah. You know, remember, you're protecting your comb, so your comb counts are going to go up, which is a good thing. And then if you ever do want to harvest it, you can pick out the worst of the comb, harvest it, and go back to building wax in the hives. I'll give you a few tips as we go here. To get the bees to really pull down wax fast for you, really needs to be done in the early part of the season, like April, May, something like that. And then you close up the top, you don't vent the top. and if your bottom board is screened, you slide the mite tray in the bottom. You want it hot. You want it hotter than normal in there. And when you do that with a little nectar flow going, they'll zip that wax down lickety split. Shut the top up. Don't vent out the top. Close up the bottom, like put the mite tray in, and give them a full box of wax, or maybe you're going to give them a checkerboard set of tabbed and foundation. Alternate them, tab foundation, tab foundation. You can't give a set of bees a full box of tabs. They don't know what to do. They're confused, and they'll build weird crazy comb from the bottom up. So to get mileage on your wax, you can come in and go start on the sides and do tabs, and then alternate them, and you'll wash out 2 combs or 2 foundation in the middle. So it'll be tab, comb, tab, comb, tab, comb. And they'll pull that right down. Within about 10 days, they'll have all that pulled out. Pretty cool how that works. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. And I'm not getting my pressure. Ooh, that's all right. This is such a pain. This is easy. I'll take this any day. Okay, so we're out. Mix up some more. Not a problem. Beekeeping, worth doing. Very high learning curve. And the seasoned beekeepers aren't talking about it enough. Very high learning curve. So there may be other programs out there you can plug into. We're a little bit different. We focus on sustainable principles. Specific sustainable principles. Okay, that's cool. Oh, that was perfect. Zoom classes, do some Zoom classes. That's pretty cool. Students like that a lot. The Zoom classes. And we'll film them. If they're a good class, we'll film them and go ahead and post it on the website so you can buy it if you weren't able to catch the Zoom class. They're $40, the same as if you were attending. That's pretty cool. It's up to you to address the learning curve and raise your BIQ. That's not negotiable. You really do have to raise your BIQ, reduce the learning curve. That's why we created the Personal Advisor Program. And it works nicely. We've got students that have been with us just a couple of years and they talk like they're 20-year beekeepers or something. You wouldn't know it, but that's only because of the structure of the program. Because you get personal teaching and guidance through phone appointments, conference calls, texting me. We send out a newsletter every mid-month, the 14th of the month, with 3 specific lessons in it. Very cool. Okay. You know, so if I'm going to do this chore, I might as well make a lesson out of it, right? So it's not a major deal. Love to make bee lessons. Very cool. Shake. Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, man. I like that. Oh yeah. Protecting the comb. Change the spray. Just takes a little turn. It's real subtle. Whew. Okay. Got the idea? Yep. Now, here's the question. Did he flip them or did he forget? I don't know. So guess what? We're going to just flip them again. It doesn't matter. So I get to talking and I forget. Oh well, they get double coats. Not a problem. I probably did. Better safe than sorry. Man, there's nothing more heartbreaking than going to a hive and opening up and seeing a mass of webs. And for the new beekeeper who hadn't been educated proper, boy, it's a heartbreak. Cry, boy. That'd make a grown man cry. What happened here? Okay, here's another comment I hear that's not accurate. Oh, the wax moths got me. No, that's not completely true. Somehow, the colony got weak. And once the colony gets weak, then the moths move in. But the moths don't get us. They don't, that's not how that works. The colony gets weak, and the bees can't keep out the pests. And here come the moths to take up residence. Now here's something else interesting. As I make my marks for comb management, I get a feel for distance, how many years. So if every mark is 6 months, so from the beginning, so there's 6 months, there's a year, right? That's when I first did it. I don't need to write I track it all on an Excel sheet inside, but I don't have to write dates down here. I just need to know that they were sprayed. And if the whole frame gets X's, then that's fine. It doesn't bother me. I want them protected because I know the bees love this. This is gold. This is gold to them. They love that. Okay, walking over to, whoops, in the wind. Yeah, in the wind. That's why we set them out there in the wind. Okay, let's do another one. And then the top of the frames. Now, later, we'll be getting into some really cool video lessons inside the hive and stuff. This is like pre-season prep stuff before we get really busy. Okay, flipping the box. Spray the box. Now these are honey frames. Not necessarily what the worms, the wax worms aren't necessarily looking for these kind of frames, but they do damage them. And if you see, I don't know if you can see. Yeah. Let's see if I can do this. All these divots, all of that is from wax moth damage. And they can make it, if they carry on through that, it can get so bad I just have to throw the box out. So we don't want that. Okay. Yeah. What a deal. Now these frames are smaller. Okay, here's another tip for you. We really don't like shallow frames. Why? Well, they fill them up really fast, and you go, oh great. Well, no, that makes me come out to the apiary more often. So beekeepers tend to shy away from the shallow frames and use deeps and mediums. That's a good combination, deeps and mediums. But the shallows are strictly honey. Some people run brood in them for weight management. Maybe the box is too heavy for them. Yep, right. Okay. See that? Not a problem. Okay. X is 2 to the right. Yeah. Flipped them. Oh, yeah. It only takes you one season where you think, oh, I'm not going to do that. Okay. You've been warned. And then you open up and find an incredible mess. And you go, well, choose your hard. It's hard one way. It can be hard the other. Choose your hard. I like strategy. I like to think strategically. Okay. I know those were turned. See that? Not a problem. And out there like that. Oops. Ooh, yeah. See how much, watch. A little bit. Just a light shake. Oops. Well, my X is going the right way. I think the worst is get some moths inside your honey hut or garage. Oh yeah. I mean, people try all kinds of ways. Put them in a trash bag. Put the frames in a freezer. If you got 5 or 6 freezers, maybe. It's, you know, I've put boxes in the freezer before. This is by far the smartest strategy. That's why more and more beekeepers are using it. I was just surprised to find in my research and writing the book, I was surprised to find all the documentation about it. Holy crap. This is not new. Okay. In the sun. The other one, let's do a medium here. Maybe a new idea to you. Learned a couple of years ago, about a year and a half ago, I guess. There you go. Okay. Managing your frames. You'll appreciate it later. Ooh. Okay, there's the box. Always like to, okay, here's another tip. These are mediums that we made on our own, and the reason it's green is a long time ago. We soaked the wood in copper naphthenate and then painted it and put wax over it, so we're not worried about tainting the bees. As a wood preservative, I put my initials, the month I made it, and the year, 2011. And if I turn it around, I see wax moth damage down in here. A little. I have some that are really bad. I like the mediums. We make a lot of mediums. But boy, whew, man, we don't want them tearing up our boxes. The frame is more disposable. The cost of doing business, a loss leader, like 80, 90 cents. If they're really bad, okay, we throw them out. Okay. Some of these frames are really old. every fall, about October, when it's colder and the wax is more brittle, more crisp, you can pop wax out of frames and harvest wax. So fall time becomes a wax harvesting time. Assess all your frames, take out the real bad ones. Ooh. Yeah. See, this works nicely. Just kind of spray it right down into the cells. Now remember, the waxworm is after the bee cocoon. That's what they're after. That's what they're after. They're after, like this frame here, it had some moth damage. And they are after the bee cocoons, eating the cocoons. But in the process of doing that, they dig through the cells and burrow into the wood, cause mayhem. Now I have in a couple of dead outs out there, I've got to go in and harvest those frames and clean them up and get them sprayed with Zentari. So when you have a fresh dead out, you need to get out there and get them pulled in. Don't leave them out there too long unprotected. Yeah. I've been going 40 minutes. Okay. There you go. Okay. No, I flip those. All right. Now, if you commit to doing this over 2 or 3 years, I think you'll find your comb counts go way up. You'll end up making more honey. Anytime I can give the bees a full box of comb for honey production, woohoo! They got the wind at their back for that, man. Because they don't have to work so hard, and they will put up a lot more honey. So your ability to understand this process and the reason why, the why behind what we're doing, yeah, that's a big deal. Okay, out to the air again here. The winds blow, wick away that water. Okay, let's do another one. One more. I think you get the idea. You can go to littlecreekbeeranch.com, look at the ebook titled Ending Wax Moth Damage Forever. It's only $40. But boy, there's some great information there. That was fun. That was a fun one to write. That was fun because we know we're helping beekeepers and making a difference for people all over, in country and out of country. Pretty cool. Okay. Ooh, now here's an old box. Check this out. Let's do this. Oh, here's an old honey box. See the wax moth damage? The worms have divoted that out. All around. All around. It gets worse, you know, if you don't come up with a solid way of stopping it. Digging holes is crazy. And we don't want that. Okay. Alright. Okay. Now. Here it is. Alright. Not a problem. Pretty quick. I think this is quicker than the way we did it last time. One frame at a time. Gee, what was I thinking? Yeah. Trying to save you some heartache. Trying to save some pain. High learning curve in beekeeping. That is hurting people. They're not being taught smartly, I say. Lot of bee clubs and bee classes, and I understand. You got to start somewhere. More seasoned beekeepers need to teach. And maybe they do, you know. It's up to them. Let's do this. Bees are just so amazing. Boy, it was so brutal cold here. Usually Oklahoma winters are pretty tender. Past 3 or 4 years it's been like easy street. And every year that goes by you go, oh, we're just going to get so slammed. We're due. Yeah, we caught it too, man. It wasn't so much piles of snow as it was cold temperatures. Ooh, man. Yeah. A little more. Oh, let's see. Is that right? Yeah, that looks good. Heaping tablespoon. That seems to be effective. Just looks like a red powder. We'll be sure to include some links at the bottom of this film where you can pick up Zentari. It used to be on Amazon. It left Amazon. I don't know if it's there back or not. We've got several sources, so you'll be able to pick some up. Yep, pretty big deal, man. Did he flip them or not? I can't remember. Yes, flip them. Sprayed them, flip them. Is it going to hurt to give double dose? No. Just waste some more. Okay. It's a good lesson, I think, you know. This is, when you're first getting started, it's going to take you a couple of years to build up your comb. Boy, you don't need a setback with wax moths then. Then it takes you another couple of years. I'm telling you, learning curve, it eats you up. So if you watch our lessons, and if you'll respect them, if you don't understand, you know, give me a shout. That's why we created the personal advisor program, for that reason. All these questions, a million questions. Well, that's, of course. But you got to get answers to them. It's only, advisory program is only $30 a month, $29.95, and we intentionally set it up. It's kind of cheap for all that we give. Yeah, we did it like that on purpose because we wanted value in the program. I can't make anybody do anything. But if they see the value in what we do, then they'll learn. Yeah, right. Because this is, okay, I hear this question. I'm in California and you're in Oklahoma. You can't teach me about bees because I'm in California. I'm polite. I say, no, it's not quite like that. Yes, I can teach. Bees don't know state lines. Bees don't respect county borders. They don't know that stuff. Bees work by a set of principles. It's the principles you have to learn. That's what you're after. Into the air again. Setting down. Okay. What do we got here? Okay, we'll do, how long? We'll do one more, and that'll be it for this lesson. You getting the idea? Just think about the benefits that you're going to pick up here. Your comb counts are going to go up. You'll be able to give full boxes of comb to the bees. They won't have to remake full sets of comb unless you want them to make wax for you. They'll go out and get more nectar. They'll bring back more nectar. They'll fill them up pretty quick. Your volume of honey harvest will go up. Whatever work you can save for the bees, they're ahead. You know, work, they're not having to work so hard. I mean, they would do it if I make them fill me out numerous boxes of comb for the season. Well, they would do it, but I'm not going to expect a big harvest from them because I'm compensating on the other end of picking up more comb. Makes sense? Hope that makes sense. There's 9. That's a 9 frame box. Okay. I'll show you another tip here in a minute. Put him back in here. All right. Oh, don't laugh, grasshopper. This is a big deal, man. Yep. This is a big deal. Okay, flip them. All right. Oh, yeah. Now, if I wasn't filming and talking and teaching, I could be quicker. So by doing it this way, by a set at a time, I reduce my timeline. Doesn't take near as long versus one at a time, you know. And you'll get coverage on him. That's not a problem. It's all right. Okay. Watch this. Okay. So here's a honey box. This is a shallow. See the, I'll move this out of the way. Oh, it's over here. All right. See the metal grid, the metal shelf? You can see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now they put that in there, beekeepers put that in there, take one frame out and spread them out. Now here's why they do that. Let me get these all set in here. If you're a brand new beekeeper, you may not know. Okay, there are a lot of tricks to beekeeping to maximize your work or the bees' work or both. Tricks and tips. Okay, here we go. Okay, now the reason they do this is it now puts the frames apart, spreads them apart, and they bubble out these frames really nice because we've got them spread. We just take one frame out. Remember, it's regularly 10 frame box. Take one out and they evenly space them and they bubble these out, and we make more honey in a 9 frame than we do in a 10 frame. Make sense? They bubble these out really nice and fat. Very clever idea. Very clever. To the sun, to the air. There we go. Okay. I think you get the idea. Let's see, what else? Okay. Okay, we'll do this. Just a second. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. This will be the last lesson. So here's 2 catch boxes, and I have an X. Where did my X go? Whoa, check it out. No X. So I'm gonna put an X on the back side. I'm not aesthetically sensitive. I just want to know that they were sprayed. The inside, I don't know if you can see it, some of this has been eaten up inside by wax moths. So even on the catch boxes, we'll spray the inside of the box with Zentari so they don't eat away at our boxes. Crazy moths. Of course, let it dry. I'm about ready to set catch boxes. I'm about ready to set catch boxes out, but we want them to be dry, you know. Yeah, you should. If there's one thing that you're going to be like OCD on, is your quality of your frames and your frame counts. Protecting your frames. There we go. And let the water down. Okay, got the idea. Looks kind of messy. You can go back and watch that video. I've got like 20 more to do, whatever. You don't need to watch me do that. I hope you learned something really cool. If you have questions, certainly give us a call. Our information on contacting us is on the face page of the website, littlecreekbeeranch.com. Have a look at the personal advisor program. That's a big deal. Look at the ebook titled Ending Wax Moth Damage Forever. That's really cool. That will help you out a lot. Look at our Zoom class schedule. Zoom classes, people from all over Texas, Missouri, all over Illinois are plugging into some cool Zoom classes. That's cool. So we hope we have helped you, made a difference, give you some tips and tricks, something to think about. If you got questions, give us a shout. Otherwise, adieu.